this video, we're gonna watch some short sports documentary videos and talk about what's good about them and draw inspiration from some of the coolest work on the internet in the sports creative space so that we can collectively make our work better, draw some inspiration, just appreciate some of those super talented creators out there on the internet. Hey, what's going on? My name is Peter Sorellis. I'm from Ottawa and Toronto, Canada. I specialize in sports videography, and honestly, recently I've been getting super into like doing more long form like storytelling pieces at my work. For anyone who's like maybe new to the channel, if this is your first video watching or something, I'm a video producer for a professional women's hockey team, and I've been following them around all season. I've been getting more into like long form storytelling. I've been doing more storytelling themed pieces with the team, like in a shorter version, and I'm slowly beefing that up to do like longer form stuff and to kind of like gain inspiration and figure out what I like and what I don't like in like sports storytelling. I've been kind of watching more sports storytelling related videos, whereas I feel like before my eyes were typically drawn to more like hype stuff. I kind of want to just take the time to watch a few of the really cool like sports storytelling videos that I've watched like on Instagram and saved to my save folder, where I save all the videos that kind of inspire my work, and just talk about like what's good about them and like showcase some awesome videos so that we can all draw inspiration together. All right, so this first one here is from Gage Dutchin, and it is a scene from a documentary for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander going into the playoffs for the NBA, obviously.
If you get 4 stops before I get 5 makes, you get $100. Okay?
With the success, you become the hunted.
That's a great way to like start a little scene.
I try to still keep like the hunter's mentality.
It's just like a very bold statement to make to draw the audience in, like set some stakes.
His
like
stuff
literally
has all
setting
been
stakes in the
gradual
bed.
improvement, and it's compounded because of the work he's put in over a long period of time. He's learning how to be an elite player, but he's making it look easy.
This is something I've found as I've been interviewing players and stuff like that. It's so good to ask someone else to talk about someone's good qualities. People are always going to be quick to talk high about someone else. Love this.
And doing things that are not seen a lot.
You watch Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
That's great editing.
This brother was dancing on dudes. Dancing on them.
Every single time something is said, the accompanying action is there. Even when Shai was describing his game, he's like slithery, and they show a play of him being slithery. Here again, someone speaking very highly of somebody else. They've incorporated so many different voices in this scene to make it engaging. I love it.
He's a killer, and a silent killer too. Like
when he speaks, it's impactful.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And if it's broke, fix it.
There you go. If he speaks, it's impactful, and they show you an example. That's the best part of this edit. They keep showing an example for everything. Again, coolest dude in the room, and you're seeing all his outfits.
MVP of the NBA.
That was awesome. There were so many things I loved about that. First off, that 2-minute scene there from that longer documentary that they've produced based on this caption starts and ends with like bits of Shai's personality, like placing a fun bet wager of someone and doing keep ups with the basketball. Like at either end of the scene, you're establishing who the main character is, and throughout the scene, I alluded to this, but like you're having multiple voices. I think there was at least 7 or 8 voices. There was multiple ESPN commentators. You had Chet, you had his coach Mark. There was a couple other ones in there that I missed, but there was like a large number of voices making comments about Shai, including himself. And every time that someone made a comment about one of his either character traits or traits of his game, like whether it's him talking about being like slithery and his like what his best traits are, or like some of the like analysts talking about his style, like they're showing the visual as you're seeing the audio, and the two pair together so well, and it's done in a really engaging way with effects that aren't like you're not over editing. It's not like crazy like using Saber and all this random stuff, but like, you know, it's like using slow motion and speed ramping and stuff in a way that's like classy and nice. Gage here does a great job going back and forth between like narrator audio, like analyst or other interview audio coming in, and then cutting back for a quick mic'd up soundbite from Shai. Obviously that mic'd up stuff isn't something you always have access to, but if you have the access to get mic'd up footage from an athlete, like that's amazing and you should absolutely use it. Anyone who makes something like this should be super proud. I can see here there's like a whole team of people who worked on this, and Gage here was the editor. There's so many good things to take from that you can apply to your work. And like some of the things that we've talked about here are some things that I'm going to take to apply to my work as I start making more like documentary storytelling style stuff like this for the team that I work for. Thank you for posting this. I'm happy that I got to watch it and draw inspiration from it. And now other people get to do that as well. So that's awesome. I'm blown away by that. Okay, this next one here like kind of falls into the storytelling piece, but kind of also fits like it's like a hype video, but it's like a storytelling themed hype video. It's from the Saskatchewan Roughriders of the CFL, and their video guy out there, Blake, is doing some awesome work. I'm like so blown away by all the stuff he does. Even when I worked at the CFL, like I was so blown away by it. And I saw their pre-game video before week 1 of the CFL season opened, which is like, I don't know when I'm going to post this, but it's today. The game is today for like when I'm recording this. And this video was awesome, so let's watch it.
Great things are on the horizon. You can take a deep breath today and solace in knowing that the right people are in place here. The right building blocks have been established, and now it's time. Now it's harvest season.
Oh, I love that.
Seeds. We've watered it. It started to grow, and now I think it's time for this organization
using
to really take
an end of season press conference
and really flourish into what it deserves to be, what this fan base deserves.
Or preseason press conference to set the scene is really smart before week 1.
Everything we need is in this room.
Only on us, bro. It's always on us, bro. Come on. Take that, embrace that. Let's
I love the mix of like interview audio and then into like huddle audio and like audio from the football field. And he's paired like who's talking with that person's highlights, it appears, which is awesome. And now we're going to generic highlights. I love the music. This builds so well. Oh, it's a beautiful shot. Oh, it's lovely. Oh my god, the music choice there, like the way it kind of built and like started really slow, and then the speed of the visuals and the cuts got faster as the momentum of the music built into its climax. That was really impactful for me, and like the visuals in that were just beautiful. Starting with the press conference of the quarterback talking about like how the team has been building for this, and then I don't know if he like was told to plant a line in there, but he said it's harvest season, which is perfect for a team from Saskatchewan where like it's literally just farmland out there, like in the prairies. And then they went with it's harvest season as like the title of the video for their week 1 hype. Like that was just perfect. The cinematography was like amazing, and getting to hear live audio that you don't get to hear otherwise from a whole bunch of key players on the team while seeing their highlights. Again, pairing the audio with the video, I think is a really effective way to draw people in. It's clearly, as I'm talking about it, something that continuously draws me in and makes work kind of go from that good category to the great category that I'm putting these videos that I'm showing here today into. That shows you like what you can do with what you typically think could just be like a hype mix to music, like a little pregame like tune in hype video, but with a more like storytelling cinematic twist to it. Awesome work, very impressive. If you've been sticking around the channel for a while and you kind of want to like elevate your editing and you like the way I edit my videos, then I've got all the assets that I use on a daily basis for my video editing, like a bunch of handmade transitions that I made for Adobe Premiere Pro, all the LUTs that I use for my sports videos, both indoor and outdoor, some paper transitions, and a whole bunch of other cool stuff, including some freebies that you can download with like no strings attached, and you also get a free LUT on my website, www.petersferellis.com. That'll be linked down in the description. It's a great way to support the channel and elevate your video editing. Okay, this last one is from Sam Tolhurst, who's _ Tollywood on Instagram, and he's made a documentary in Australia for the NBL, National Basketball League down there, which is like the second best basketball league in the world, with Andrew Bogut and Luke Longley. So let's check out the trailer.
Australian NBA
We're starting on a press conference again, but an old one, and from Andrew Bogut.
Pre-draft interview earlier today. Bogut touted the 3-time NBA champion.
Okay, this is for
and unfit to lace
This is for ESPN Australia, New Zealand, like a documentary.
Luke win 3 rings with the Bulls. You cannot come in and say you're better than Luke Longley at this stage of your
so we've
career.
established like.
My start with Andrew was rocky 20 years ago. I didn't know him, he didn't know me. We're effectively generation apart rivals. There's only 2 7-footers that have gone to America and kicked ass. We're 2 of 2.
So you've established like a rivalry between the two of them, but now
Andrew
we're showing
was
them
right.
both at the same
There's
time.
no Luke Longley. Way better.
Wow.
With the first pick in the 2005 NBA draft, the Milwaukee Bucks select Andrew Bogut from Australia and the University.
They've got footage from deep in the archives for this. We have like childhood photos, Andrew Bogut draft footage. That's such a throwback. And there's so many different interviews that were done for this. Like, how did they get Steve Kerr for this? And they got Andrew Bogut and Luke Longley sitting at the beach.
Our journey.
They went and got college stuff and old Australia basketball stuff. There's a
incredibly gifted. I mean, there's a reason a guy's the #1 pick. Bouncy, athletic. This was a guy who had the potential to dominate games.
He's been thrown a lot from the world and from life. He's come up standing up strong.
Okay, the change of music here.
That's who Andrew Bogut is.
I really like the change of music and then showing Bogut going through a bit of adversity to kind of like bring you back into it and not let all like the hype stuff of him being like sick kind of get stale.
First of all, I'm thrilled that Bogues is going to coach. He's one of the most brilliant basketball minds I've ever been around.
I think for me to help Andrew in the new
That's smart.
phase,
I can
he's
talk
got to
about
trust
that.
me and feel like he
That's
knows
really
me.
smart.
He really values that. He really values knowing people and trust.
Do you have problems trusting people?
Yeah, definitely have problems trusting people.
And what do you think about that time before you got drafted where you decided it was a good idea to say you were way better than me?
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love at the end there how like they had set this rivalry at the start, talking about how like this like cocky kid Andrew Bogut, well, I know who Andrew Bogut is at this point. This cocky kid Andrew Bogut is like calling out a legend from his country, basically, who's like won a bunch of NBA championships. And then at the end, they literally have the two on a beach drinking a beer, and the legend asks Bogut like what years later, so what do you think about that comment? That's a great hook. And I will say about that interview they did on the beach there with the two people, I find you get the best answers and the most authentic footage out of people when you have them doing something else while they're being interviewed and like while they're talking. So like instead of sitting someone in a chair and peppering them with questions, which you have to do sometimes for sure, when you can like have them do an activity. So in this case, it's get Andrew Bogut and Luke Longley to sit on a beach and drink beers together and watch The View, and then ask them questions in a more candid way there, you're going to get more candid answers back. It requires more like logistical preparation, I guess. But like, I think the results are really good, and clearly it pays off, because I think that the like beach stuff they had there with Luke Longley and Andrew Bogut that they kind of like intercut throughout that trailer was the best part of it. Like, it was awesome. Something else they did that was really smart is when they didn't have a quote for something, but they wanted to make a transition from one talking point to the next, the editor would put a quote and then attribute it on the screen in text, and then they would have an interviewer comment on it. So at some point they said Andrew Bogut to coach Sydney Kings, and then the next audio clip was Steve Kerr saying, "I'm so glad Bogut's getting into coaching." They didn't have a clip of Andrew Bogut saying, "I'm going to go coach the Sydney Kings." This put it in text and attributed the quote to a newspaper or something. And then the next comment was his old coach, Steve Kerr, talking about that quote. That's a great way to like get around maybe not having a certain soundbite that you need, but still making the video flow really well. It was smart and it was really tastefully done. The way they like established a bit of like animosity or like a bit of tension at the start by talking about those comments, and then like the crazy amounts of footage they pulled from the archives, going back to when Andrew Bogut got drafted and like really old Australia basketball stuff. Like, I don't even want to think about how long it took to get all that footage, and then kind of building up both characters, and especially building up Bogut and showing like his trials and tribulations throughout the NBA, and then ending it where he's like at the end of his career on a beach with Longley and referencing that first comment. It was just it was a lovely bow on the end of that trailer, and I think it's exceptionally done. I totally see why that's on ESPN in Australia. Like, it is fully worthy of it. I've loved reacting to these videos and like actually saying out loud what I love about them. I think it reaffirms for me what I want to see in my filmmaking, and hopefully can give you some ideas of what you want to see in some of your filmmaking. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel because I post videography and video editing tips and tutorial videos similar to this on a regular basis, and would love to have you around for that. I also do a similar series on this channel where I react to your sports videos that you submit to me. Obviously this video was not quite that, but I do it pretty regularly. So if you want to get your sports video reviewed on the channel, you can send it to peterwatchmysportsvideo@gmail.com. I'll put that on the screen, and then I'll go through and periodically like review them and shout them out on the channel. We'll talk about what we like and maybe give some criticism if you ask for that. And yeah, just a good time, so hang around for that. And if you got any questions, drop them in the comment section. I'm always down to chat down there, but that's going to be all for this one. So until next time, peace.